sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me.
Good morning. You are listening to KSQD Santa Cruz, K-Squid 90.7 FM, streaming live at ksqd.org. I am Catherine Bell, and this is The Dream Journal, a weekly show where we explore the healing powers of your nighttime dreams through conversations with dream experts and with you.
Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving.
And now we transition to the beautiful music of our creative musician, Rick Kleffel. He creates this music brand new every week that we have here in the background. And I always love listening to this music because it helps me center down and remember to be here in the present. In the words of Carl Jung, who looks outside dreams and who looks inside awakens. Thank you all for making last week's all-caller show a rousing success. We will definitely plan for more of those shows going forward. And don't forget that you can always call in during the last 20 minutes of any show, and you can share a dream or ask a question. I'll be giving out the number to that real soon, and in about 40 minutes, we'll be taking call-ins today, as usual. In the meantime, we'll have a guest, local lucid dreamer, Mei Wolff-Smith. We'll be talking about her personal approach to dreaming and also about how you can bring the magical to the practical every day. And we'll also talk about dream poetry and how you can make your own. This is Catherine Bell of Experiential Dreamwork, and welcome to the Dream Journal. I'd like to remind you that the views and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily represent those of Natural Bridges Media or of KSQD's staff, volunteers, or underwriters. The Dream Journal is also a podcast, which is great in case you missed part of the show, or if you'd like to binge listen to get your dream on. Look for the Dream Journal, review it, subscribe, and tell a friend. It really helps people to find the show. The Dream Journal is available on all of your major podcast platforms. So I'm working with a dream image right now where I had this moment. Well, so I'm placing my hands on the sides of my belly. This is like my Buddha belly moment here. That there's a dream that I had where I don't remember what happened in the early part of the dream, but at some point somebody puts their hands on either side of my belly, and I've been feeling like, is it okay for me to be a little soft these days? I don't get out and exercise as much as I used to. And also it's always been an ongoing thing, my relationship with my belly. But in the dream, when the person puts their hands on my belly, I get transported into this amazing moment of bliss. And the floor suddenly tilts, and so that we're sliding sideways, and I just like kind of swoon in a way. And that there's just this amazing feeling of connection and bliss. So as my dream practice has been to put my hands on my belly and remind myself to be present. Yeah. It's such a powerful part of who we are. We talk about the gut instincts, or, I had a gut feeling about that. And, there's a lot of intelligence. There's a lot of intelligence here in our bellies that I think a lot of times don't pay attention to. For me, a lot of times it's about safety, but it can also be about feeling really good. So I've heard that there is gray matter in our bellies. The same gray matter that's in our brains also exists in other parts of our bodies, and the brains is by far the greatest concentration of that gray matter, is neuronal connections. But then there's also a large amount in our heart. And then the third largest concentration is in our bellies. So is there really a communication that happens in our bellies? So I'm going to be keeping in mind what's going on. Maybe shall I say keeping in belly? What's happening with my Buddha belly? And I welcome you to the Dream Journal. Like every week, I will be inviting call-ins during the last 20 minutes of the show. So you could get your questions ready, maybe open up your dream journal, see if there's something you'd like to share. And you can jot down the number now. The number is 831-900-5773. That's 900-KSQD. That number again is 831-900-5773. In about half an hour, I'll be opening the phone so you can call. So we have on the air with us Mei Wolff-Smith. Welcome.
Hi, Catherine. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you fine. Thank you. Glad to have you on the show.
Yay. I'm so excited to be here.
I know, me too. Mei Wolff-Smith is a mother, a partner, an ecstatic dancer, and a lover of life. She has been a lucid dreaming for the last 3 years. Dreaming is not only a hobby for her, but it's a serious portal to self-empowerment, awareness, and reflection. Mei continues to devote her relentless time and attention to knowing herself in a way that's beneficial to all beings with her whole soul and strength. One way that Mei expresses her dreams is through poetry, and she'll give us some tips on how to turn our dreams into poems, and will also share with us some of her dream creations. So welcome to the Dream Journal, Mei.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wonder if you could start by telling us a little bit about yourself and your journey with your dreams. How did you first get interested in dreaming?
That's a great question. For as long as I can remember, I have always been really active in my dream life. I think the earliest memory I have was when I was about 3 years old. I would have this one nightmare of this purple monster chasing me. And I remember one night, it was so terrifying that in my dream, I turned around and I said, "Hi, my name is Mei. It's nice to meet you. What's your name?" And the really big purple monster, it stopped and its demeanor totally changed, and it said, "Oh, my name is such and such, and I have no friends, and I would you be my friend?" And from then on, I think that was kind of the catalyst for me starting very young into the lucid dreaming world of facing my fears.
Well, it's interesting. You said facing your fears. I don't know that many of us would think to turn towards the thing that's terrifying us. So it's amazing you did that. And especially, how old did you say you were at such a young age?
Yeah, I was 3 years old.
3?
Yeah.
Wow. So there's just something instinctive in you to turn toward even the scary thing. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so it started then, and then I've always been interested in my dreams, but recently, I think before then I didn't even know that I was kind of dabbling in lucid dreaming until maybe I moved to Santa Cruz about 4 years ago, and I was having some trippy experiences. I definitely call them psychedelic. In the sense that it was so interesting. I was reading this book called Be Here Now by Ram Dass.
I know that one.
And it's
classic.
my favorite. And and everything I was reading, the spirit of what I was reading, I was experiencing firsthand in my dream world. These just kind of time bending where, I would my dream world felt like it was 20 years, and it was very colorful and elaborate. And then when I'd wake up and go to my day job in my waking world, it felt like my day, it was so quick, and it would be like 2 hours. And I remember what's happening? This is different. So totally reality check for me, and I'd be experiencing for 3 months, 3 to 4 times, I would experience deja vu consistently every day for about 3 months. And I remember that was really trippy for me, because I would have these moments where I'd be like, whoa, I've been here. how do I know I've been here? And sometimes I'd have, like, in those deja vu moments, deja vu of deja vu.
Oh my gosh!
And
Wow.
it was, it was so amazing and also a little disorienting.
I bet. No, we've had calls from
Yeah.
people who are so into the dreaming, especially when they get into the lucid dreaming, that they started to have trouble telling the difference between waking life and dreams. But it sounds like
Yes.
you kind of kept a little bit of a balance. Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, that was, I remember it was really exciting and just, it opened up a door of possibility of, oh, anything's possible. My world is bigger and grander than I ever thought, and I'm bigger and grander than I ever thought.
Right.
Because after these experiences, it really helped me kind of go from a very one-tracked mindset to a more broader, expansive awareness of myself and others.
Right. Well, I understand that you have they have a way of approaching lucid dreaming, which is one that you've developed on your own. I wonder if you'd like to talk a little bit about how you approach lucid dreaming and how you like integrate that in your waking life.
Sure. Well, how I first got into lucid dreaming was by reading it. Well, I mean, I told you that I was kind of doing it before.
Yeah.
And these experiences really made me curious. And if I am interested in something, I am such an avid reader. So my first kind of mode or trick or tip that I got into was just reading all about lucid dreaming. And just familiarizing myself with the vocabulary of everything dream-related. So I have like these kind of 7 steps.
Oh,
that
cool. Okay.
reviewed in that I kind of go. They're very simplified. The first step was research, educating myself and making sure that I really kind of familiarized myself with the whole dreaming territory. And then my second step that I've gone through is setting an intention. I feel like that's really important. And every night I would do this thing where I would tap my temple. My dad is a chiropractor, and he taught me these kind of like chiropractic pressure points to like clear the body and the mind. And one of them is kind of using my right hand to swipe across my temple, and that somehow it works for me. Swiping my temple plus the affirmation and the intention
Right.
would
So
be really.
when
really
you say
helpful.
swiping, you're talking about the temple, like just like over the side of your foreheads. You actually like
Yes.
kind of just swiping forward or down or tapping, or what is
Kind of like tap swiping.
tap swiping?
Gently
Okay.
tap swiping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of right hand to left temple.
Oh, so you're reaching across. Oh, interesting. So maybe there's some cross brain activity doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a little personal tip I do.
Yeah.
And with that said, I really make sure that there's this woman named Ariel Ford who is really into manifesting, and I love this term that she called when we manifest things or call in something we desire, to really feel into it, not only just wish for it and think about it, but she termed that feeling-ization. So
Feeling-ization.
that's what I do.
Oh, what a wonderful word.
Yeah, it's like visualization plus feeling in your whole body and being.
So like feeling that like it's accomplished, like that kind of a thing, or feeling that you're yearning for it, feeling that it's accomplished.
Yeah, as if it's already in your life.
Right.
So instead of being like, I wish to do this, it's like, oh, I'm already doing this. I feel it in my body. So one way I would do this is just, my intention for the longest time was facing my fears. And so I would say, tonight, I'm already facing my fears, or I know all of myself and they're whole and integrated, or tonight I'm healed, tonight I help others.
Wow.
And my current mantra has been, with the whole tapping what its intention is, remember what I need to remember, release what no longer serves me, so that I may be more whole and integrated for the benefit of all beings. And that has been a really powerful intention for me recently.
Remember what I need to remember and release all that I need to release? Is that how?
Yeah, release what no longer serves me.
What no longer serves me. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And with the whole intention thing, I'm stealing a quote from Ellen DeGeneres, but she has this great quote around, be open to learning something new, even if it contradicts what I learned or thought was true yesterday. So with the whole intention setting thing and desiring something, part of the lucid dream movement activity for me is really the epitome of that quote, is learning something even if it contradicts what I thought to be true yesterday or a month ago or a year before.
Well, that's really powerful, and it's really challenging because we tend to see the world from where we're at, and so to be open to things that are very different from where we're at is I don't know, difficult. It's not the, I don't know if that's the right word, but it's not our usual thing, and I do find that dreams are extremely helpful with that, or like waking me up to, oh, you thought it was this way, but actually this is not really helping you the way that you've been doing it. Like, oh, I think I'm ready for something new here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's been such a journey of vacillating between this state of being really proud of myself and then also being really humbled at the same time with the lucid movement. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm so powerful. I can do this. I can do that. I can fly. I can manipulate objects. Oh, but I also am stuck in this emotional way, or I need to forgive, or I'm not as strong as I thought, and I could grow in this area. And kind of like a seesaw.
Right. And maybe we can start to feel our own power, and but like simply, like not in an arrogant way, but just as in like, this is who I am. Like, I mean, I'm going back to my Buddha belly. There's something about that belly that's just like, oh, this is like really who I am. And it's kind of scary that it's so simple and so powerful, but it is what it is. And maybe, what is that? Is it Marianne Williamson who says, who are you to not be your amazing, brilliant self? Like,
yeah.
So, Yame, we're going to take a short break. I'll play a little bit of music that you've selected. I'm going to play a piece from something called Flying by Creature. I guess that's how you pronounce it. KR3, TURE. It's a little bit of a kind of a meditation, so we can all use that to drop in, and then we'll come back and hear the rest of your 7 steps.
Great.
And I also want to say that in about 20 minutes, I'll be opening the phone, and you can call in at 831-900-5773. So you might start thinking about what you'd like to share. And we will be back. This is Mei Wolff-Smith, and this is the Dream Journal on K-Squid 90.7 FM, and I am your host, Catherine Bell.
As if you're flying. What would that feel like? Very light in my body. And exhale. It's that feeling of being excited, passionate about your life. Open your heart center. Feel that sense of peaceful vitality flowing through it.
So my name is Catherine Bell, and you're listening to the Dream Journal on K-Squid 90.7 FM, and we are here live with Santa Cruz resident, Mei Wolff-Smith. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Yeah. So what other tips do you have for us for working with in setting our up for a lucid dreaming night? Or even like you even said that instead of lucid dreaming, you kind of prefer bringing the magical to the practical. So maybe before we go back to the steps, maybe we want to say a little bit about what does that mean, bringing the magical to the practical.
Yeah. I feel like that's been my really my whole my go-to plan, or plan is not the best word, but just intention of opening up, because I feel like with the dreamscape, for me, it is such like ethereal, metaphysical, magical place that there's infinite possibilities. And when I'm in that state, whether it's daydreaming, night dreaming, anywhere in between those states, I feel so strong and powerful and endless possibilities. But then when it comes to this human piece of flesh that is also mine, how do I bring all that infinite wisdom that is kind of in the spirit realm and bring it to my human realm?
Right.
And that's been kind of my thing that I've been exploring and having fun doing, is just kind of it's almost like a bridge. Like, how do I cross that bridge between those two realms? Because I am a human and I am a being, and I'm great at the being part. But now I'm trying to balance the human part, that part you were talking about, the Buddha belly, and there's that judging mind, and the one that feels things, and so like, how do I, bring the kind of spiritual part into my everyday practice, whether it's changing a diaper every day, 10 times a day, or taking a bowel movement every morning and really enjoying that and taking that time as a moment of release and integration of my morning, and getting groceries, or just simply making my bed. Like, how do I do that with a magical flair?
Right. It seems a bit like there's some mindfulness in here that, for me, it's really helpful to be present in the moment rather than busy off in my thoughts thinking about the future or the past. And so bringing myself into the present is a lot of how I try to enhance that magic in me.
Yeah, and I actually have a cool story about this, about bringing the magical to the practical.
Oh, yeah, please share.
One time, I think one of my first jobs in Santa Cruz, when I was kind of getting really into dreaming and just noticing my superpowers in my dream realm, one of them was flight and speed. And I was so into that, and I was thinking, how can I bring that to my daily life? Like, I feel kind of stuck in my current job, and I hate waking up in the morning. And I would set a timer to wake up, and one day I slept past my timer, and I looked at the clock, and I was like, oh, shoot, there's no way that I'm going to make it to work on time. Like, I'm going to be at least a half an hour late. And I was kind of starting to notice my heartbeat go up. I was getting really nervous and stressed. But then I had this moment where I was like, you know what? I do my 5-minute meditation every day. I'm going to keep doing that as if I was on time. I'm going to, every step that I take from where I am right now out the door, I'm going to act as if I'm on time, even if I'm not. I'm not going to rush it, and I'm not going to stress and start crying, and I'm going to do this. And so I kind of did that, and I was only 5 minutes late. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, wow.
But, turns out everyone else was late that day, too.
And you were probably in a way better state of mind than if you'd been rushing and rushing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, so that really is kind of like everyday magic, like to bring the intention to every day. Like you were talking about, what is it, feeling-ization? Feeling as if I'm not late, like I'm on time. This is everything perfect, like, and really feeling that in your body as accomplished.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what are some of your other ideas that you wanted to bring about the way that you particularly approach lucid dreaming and this kind of magical practicality?
Yeah, I think I shared 1 through 2, and the third one really applies to this kind of magical to practical, which is keeping an open, available, patient, curious mind, like as if one is a child in the child state. And because I know I've talked to many people about my dreams, and some people have just said to me, "Oh, I don't remember," or I'll never do that," or "I'm not into that." And so when I hear them say that, I'm like, "Oh, well, have you heard what you just said? You just get it started with a kind of double negative type of thing. If you really believe that, then you won't do it. So that's why you're not doing it."
I see. So you're saying that when they say, I don't remember my dream, that's an affirmation right there. I don't remember them.
Exactly. They're starting, before they even start, they've already, they're not even on the platform.
Right.
So, yeah.
So watching our language, it seems really important to really watch what our language is, and
totally.
both outside the world and also inside our heads.
And part of the patience aspect is when, I think it's okay to say, "Oh, I haven't done this," but to also include the part "yet." Now, someone, if they haven't, gotten to these steps, they've done all these steps that I'm talking about, or someone else has said in their book, to just simply say, "Oh, I haven't learned how to fly yet, but I'm getting there." Instead of end it with a period.
Right. I love that.
Yeah. And another part is when I've started doing this just recently, but I think I used to just want to get up and jump out of my bed and be ready for the day. But part of integrating the dream for me is time for reflection. So in order to do that, I lay in bed for an extra 30 seconds to 2 minutes, just laying there, seeing what comes up, before I reach for my journal or before I get a glass of water. Just stay present and still. And then I can incorporate anything, which leads to step number 5, recording and collecting data. Or I have this journal, and I actually do it on my cell phone because I use the recording little piece on my cell phone, and I speak into it, and then it records, types the recording for me.
It's a voice-to-text function.
Yeah, and it's much faster than writing for me, even though writing's super important. But in this sense, since I feel like I've been doing this for a long time, integration is really quick for me.
The most important part, in my view, is just to find something that works for you. What is it, something that you want to do that works, it's easy, that you have ready to go by the side of your bed?
Yeah. And I label sometimes what type of dream it is for me. I've noticed through my collecting of my dream experiences, there's so many different types. It's not just one size fit all. Sometimes I have premonition dreams, past life dreams, remote viewing, out of body, lucid, astral projection, spiritual, therapeutic, integrative, just crazy non-integrative dreams that I need to sift through my brain. And so just kind of building a relationship with my dreams. And when I record, I also write down what I felt and what I think my heart is wanting to tell me, or my spirit is wanting to tell me through these dreams. Because I believe that no one can interpret our dreams better than ourselves.
Yep.
Even if you look it up, that's a good reference point, but it's just a mirror for what we already know. And then for step 6 is just share, repeat, and update, Share as much as we can, find someone that is also interested in dreaming or lucid dreaming, and you can feed off of each other. I think that's really important. It's kind of, 6 and 7 are the same. Share, repeat, update. Update your skills, build on everything, and incorporate some new techniques and release the ones that don't serve me anymore.
Right. So this is like an evolving
Yeah.
practice of yours. It's something that you'll change as you go.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's beautiful that you probably incorporated that from things that you've read and also just from your own intuition.
Yeah. And I know, I think I love it when authors in any like spiritual or self-help or no-to guide in books always put that little disclaimer of, this is what works for me, and take it or leave it, you know. You don't need to, this may not work for you, but if it resonates, then it's true. But if it doesn't, then it's not, and that's good too. So that's kind of my approach to learning and personal growth.
Right. Well, dreams are incredibly personal, and that's one way that they're somehow different from medical science, whereas bodies have a lot in common with each other, and so there may be some set way of how to deal with certain diseases or certain injuries that you can kind of look up in a book. But dreams are extremely personal, and there's, you know, when my association with the International Association for the Study of Dreams, I've met dozens of people I've had like deep conversations with, and who have different ways of working with their own dreams and with their people's dreams, you know, their clients' dreams. And there's a huge number of ways of approaching that, because there's such a variety of ways to be human. Sometimes when I'm talking to people about their dreams, I feel like I'm kind of like looking through the window to see, like, what does the world look like for you? Like, can I get into your head and like look out through your window? Like, because everybody has a different window that we look through, and it all shows up in our dreams and our thoughts and our everyday unconscious expressions.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's about 1 minute early, so I'm just going to, rather than starting off on a new topic, because I really want to get to some dream poetry and talk about some of your ideas about that, but I want to have plenty of time for it. So I'm going to go to our final break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the dream poetry idea, and we'll also take callers. This is the Dream Journal. You're listening to K-Squid 90.7 FM, Community Radio of Santa Cruz, and the phones are now open. If you'd like to call in and talk to me or Yame, you can give us a call. The number is 831-900-5773. Maybe you have your own ways of working with your dreams that you'd like to share, or your own lucid dreaming experiences. Remember, one of the numbers on the chart is definitely to share what's up for you, because there is something that really deepens our experience to share it with another. So we're all dreamers here, and we'd love to hear what your experience has been, or maybe you have some dream poetry. Give us a call. The number is 831-900-5773. And we will be right back. We have a caller on the line. This is the Dream Journal, and I'm going to give the number out, but I want to let you know that both of our lines are busy. So you can give us a call when we finish with this caller, but that number is 831-900-5773. So welcome, caller.
Hi, Catherine Bell.
Oh.
I felt a little guilty because this is Ellen, and I called in last
Oh,
week as
right.
well. And
No, Ellen's great.
I just want to add something. I just had to call because I woke up. I thought I woke up this morning. I looked at my clock, which would have been my cell phone, because I didn't have my clock in my room at the time. It's a radio clock. I sometimes move it around and use it during the day.
Uh-huh.
So I woke up, and I swear. I looked at the clock, and it was 11:30, and I thought, I overslept. I can't listen to the Dream Journal.
Oh, no.
I went back to sleep. And then I got woken up by another distraction, And so I had to, it was a big distraction. I had to jump out of bed, and I had these really cool dreams. I was in this and according to your the person you're talking to you,
who is
today,
also a friend of
I'm
mine.
sorry,
So yes,
I just turned it on. I missed your name.
Mei Wolff-Smith.
Yeah, it's according to Yame, and she says she lays in bed like 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Well, I usually lay in bed like 5-10 minutes if I have that much time, or at least 2 to 5 minutes to just sit. And my older sister taught me that when I was like in junior high or even younger, just to sit and reflect on my dreams, just to go back into the dream state. In fact, I even heard like if you were sleeping on your right side when you woke up and you had dreams and then you went and moved, go back to your right side. Like I even like just go back to where you were, sit and just reflect. And if I don't remember yet what any dreams were, my sister taught me to, so this is all really good for lucid dreaming or to remember your dreams. First, for remembering dreams, she taught me to think about it, just go through things in your life. Was it anything about school? Did I have anything about school? Think about where you spend your life, because usually your dreams are some reflection about where you spend your life. And even just go through things and say, oh, yeah, it was about something I did at school, and then the whole dream pops in. So my sister was super cool in teaching me how to remember my dreams when I was young, and I spent a ton of energy doing that, so that when I moved to Santa Cruz right out of high school, I got a book on lucid dreaming, and I read what it said to do, too. And it said, well, the thing is, and we talked about that last week, you've got to remember you're dreaming while you're dreaming to become lucid. And it gave all these different tips. And I worked on it so hard. I was like 18, 19 years old, and I became lucid in my dreams because I was so dream-focused my entire junior high school. And I had been writing down dreams, and so I got really, really, really focused on it and what it told me to do. And what I had decided to do is when I realized I'm dreaming, because I used to have those falling dreams.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I had lucid dreaming book that you can use those falling dreams. And I had quite a few when I was younger, and I just, of course, would always wake up from them because usually that's what you do. You're like, oh, my God, I'm falling. And you wake up because it's so terrifying. And they're like, oh, those are the perfect chance for you to become lucid. Like when you got to, like, when you start feeling yourself falling, realize it's a dream and then fly. And I worked so hard on that because I had falling dreams at least 2 or 3 times a year. I'm like, I'm going to do it. And so then when this dream, and even can remember, it's so funny, I was like 19 years old, but when I think about it, I remember that particular dream, how I was falling, but I was somehow inside this rickety old building. And I was like, and there were other people there, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm falling, I'm in a dream, now fly. And I did it.
You remembered.
And I remembered, and I flew, and I remember, like, oh, my God, I can't believe it. And then that was like, I didn't do anything more at the dream, I was just flying. I was like, oh, my gosh, I'm flying, I did it, I'm lucid in my dreams. And it was like I had reached some pinnacle, like, okay, I did it. And I never focused on continuing to become lucid in my dreams. So young, figured it out, was so focused on it, and never did anything. And then flash forward decades later, I'm in my 50s. There's a Rinpoche that used to live here locally, a Rinpoche, wasn't it? Yeah, Tukul Tupten. And he was talking about dream yoga.
Yeah.
I was in like a little weekend retreat, and on Friday night he talked about dream yoga. And I wrote everything down. This is what the Tibetans do. This is what you visualize when you go to sleep. And da-da-da-da. And it was really, of course, as Tibetan things are, very involved and detailed and all this stuff, And I went to sleep that night. And he said, tomorrow we'll talk about our dreams. And I was like, yeah, I really want to talk about my dreams. I love doing that. So I go to sleep that night, and I go through all that process of how to do the Tibetan thing. And it's really long, and it's really tired. And before I finished, I fell asleep. But the whole reason Tibetans do it is they're so focused on becoming a bodhisattva. They're like, let's not waste the time that we're sleeping, since we sleep like what percentage of our life, 1/3, or I don't know. So let's use that time that we can focus on, helping all beings become free from suffering.
And they also, the Tibetans also view dreaming as a practice of facing the afterlife, like after we die, becoming lucid in the moments when we're passing through bardos after we die.
Right, that's really important, that they spend their whole life
preparing
just getting ready for the moment of death. Exactly. so there I am in my dream, and I go through the whole process, and I fall asleep even before the process is through. And I think maybe I woke up and went, oh my gosh, I didn't, and I did it a few times. And then I'm in my dream, and I can remember now a specific dream, like I feel like I was on a roller coaster, or some other father was there with his kids on the roller coaster, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I think maybe I fell asleep, and then every time I became lucid. It was so weird. And I would be like, oh, this is a dream. Oh, and he said the whole reason that we want to at that point become lucid is so that we can help others, because that's what the Bodhisattva does. Mm-hmm. So I remember going like, oh my God, yes, I'm dreaming now. And I'd go around to all the other people in my dream, which are really just aspects of myself, going, what can I do to help you? What can I do to help you? Because
well, it's a good practice.
That was like the message that this particular Tuku Tupten gave me, what can I do to help you?
Interesting.
And it was so funny, and kind of like I didn't really feel like I used that. But the fact that he gave me these instructions, and I really love this guy. Like, he is definitely like my Tibetan root guru, as I feel. And I went and I did what he asked, and then the visualizations, and I did instantly become lucid. And it was almost like this silly little kid running around going, how can I serve you? That was it. He's like, we want to keep serving others. How can I serve you? And I told him and then he never asked about the dreams the next day. Went through the whole teaching. At the end of the teaching, I raised my hand and I go, Tuku, you never asked about our dreams last night. I was just dying all day to share that. Like, I called to you. It's so silly. And the other reason I wanted to tell you, so I was sharing about some of my lucidity, but I also wanted to share that, and how it's important to just lie there. Like my sister taught me for remembering dreams. Like, maybe you don't at first, so just sort of like go through the different aspects of your life and see if something clicks. But the funny thing is how I literally in my dream was thinking about this program again. So in my dream, I dreamt that I had looked at the clock and it was too late. And then this thing woke me up suddenly. And I was like, wait a minute, it doesn't seem like it's that late outside. And I look at the light and everything, and then I looked at the clock, and it was only like 10-something. And I was like, oh. I immediately turned it on. I wasn't too late. Well, how did I get that idea it was too late? And then I realized that was all in a dream. That I was thinking about your program, even looking at the clock.
Some people are dreaming about the dream journal. I think that's fabulous. I wonder if I was I went to this Pema Osaling, I think it's called, for Tibetan Dream Yoga retreat probably a decade ago now at this point. Right,
Pema Osaling, that's Lama Tarchin. It was Lama Tarchin who sponsored the other teacher I'm talking about, Tuku Tupten, who now goes by Nam Tupten, is Lama Tarchin, who sponsored that amazing Tibetan master to come here. He was quite young when he came here, like 30-something.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities to study about dreaming in the Santa Cruz area. Yeah, Mei, I wonder if are you at all familiar with Tibetan yoga?
Yes.
Yeah. There's something about that their whole cultures, they've been studying this, or at least the monks make a study of the dreaming, so they have a lot of experience with this.
Dreaming and being lucid in your dreams. So, and the whole point is so that you can continue your practice of becoming a bodhisattva.
Right. I've heard from numbers of people that actually taking a meditation practice that you do in waking life and then performing that in your dreaming life can be really, really powerful. You just get to a place of transcendence very quickly.
I think Tibetan Buddhism is probably, if you want to go into deep studies, psychological studies of the mind, that's probably a great place to go. I mean, it's amazing that they've been doing this for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Centuries and centuries.
Wow, this
I'm
is
going to get off the phone because you got other callers, and I felt first I said, is it okay if I call in? Because I felt bad because I'd called in last week. But I thought that was kind of crazy about the thing I really wanted to share was how in my dream I had realized it was Saturday morning, woke up in my dream, thought I woke up, had thought it was too late to be part of your program.
That's right, but it wasn't. And then it turned out that you were on time.
Right. And I did have dream. I remember Summer Rose. You probably know her. In my dream, and I did have a dream like usual with lots of people. And I've traveled a lot in the past. And I have a ton of traveling dreams. And in my dream, I was traveling.
Yeah.
And we're like, where are we going to go next? And I was like, let's go to the sunshine, go to the soul in Spain. You know, I was already deciding where I was going to go travel in my dream. And yeah, I need to become more lucid again so I can
Right.
really enjoy
Well, you know,
the
this
fact that I'm not being able to physically travel. At least I can go off and we can all go off and travel in our dreams.
Right. Well, this conversation may help. And, you know, Yame's been mentioning about books, and I've been wanting to ask Yame, actually, what are some of your favorite books that inspire?
Okay, I'm hanging up so you can take another call.
Okay. Thank you, Ellen. Well, I'm so glad you called, and I'm glad it wasn't too late for you.
Me too.
All right. Take care. So Ellen's hanging up the phone, so that means now the lines are now open. So if you want to call in, 831-900-5773, you're welcome to give us a call, and we'll get you on the air. So Yame, I'm wondering, like, what are there any? Actually, you know what? Let's just go. We got books we can recommend, and then there's also the dream poetry. Where do we want to go? where are you at, Yame?
Well, actually, I just felt inspired to share a little tidbit about what Ellen was saying about memory, and that was another tip that wasn't part of my process.
Oh yeah, great.
Kind of more just an outside tip is for anyone who, this applies to all types of dreams, whether it's lucid or regular therapy or whatever, is cultivating one's memory. That's really, really important. And I think that's what, because kids, I feel like the childlike state, they remember everything. That grown-up cannot get away with anything. And so I've always had a really good memory. And so if one of the things that I would do is there's this man named Jim Quick who is a learning specialist, and he changed my life. And he has all these tips and tricks around retention and memory. And so that's super, super, super core. If anything, like anyone takes away anything from what I say, cultivating one's memory.
Right. Okay. That is super important. I love that. So we do have another caller on the line. I love this. Why don't you say hello, caller? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Jeff, and I'm calling from Santa Cruz.
Hey, Jeff. Well, this is great. This is my dear friend Jeff and Yame. Actually, while you're on the line, Jeff, I'm going to just jump right in and say that Jeff and Yame have a monthly dream group meetup, which is the second Wednesday of every month at the Dream Crib. And it's a group that I really love. It's a networking group where we get to talk about dreams, and I highly recommend it. So you might want to join the group, get on the mailing list, and find out about the events that they have, because it's a really fun group.
Definitely appreciate the plug. We're going to be looking at doing an online Zoom dream group meeting in addition to the in-person meeting, probably maybe starting August.
Right.
So we're going to be adding an additional piece. But the reason why I wanted to call is I wanted to say, for Yame, I thought your explanation of your entire dream, your approach to dreams, was entirely beautifully said, and it's inspiring to me to hear your approach and taking aspects of it, how you approach dreaming and lucid dreaming, and incorporating some of those techniques into my own dream process. So I just wanted to say thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I second that. Thank you, Yame. Beautiful.
All right, that's it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's inspiring that you really can create this whole process, and that you find that dreaming is so rewarding that you put a lot of thought and energy into that. And I think that's really inspiring. Take it in, Yame. Just take a breath. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, Jeff, is there anything else you want to share on the phone? I love having you call in. It's always great to talk to you. This is Jeff Wallace. He actually was a guest on the Dream Journal back in the fall, so you can find that in our archives on Podcast Land. Jeffrey Wallace. Oh, he may have hung up already. Maybe that was all he had to say. He just wanted to say thank you for your process. Oh, but I hear the phone ringing again. This is awesome. I think we opened the floodgates last week when we had our all-caller show, which is wonderful. So yeah, the Dream Crib meetup is wonderful. I think you can find it on the Meetup, the Meetup app or webpage, whatever it's called. And it's called, what's it called? Santa Cruz Dreamers or something? Santa Cruz? Do you remember what the name of?
Yeah, Santa Cruz Dream Meetup.
Santa Cruz Dream Meetup. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was a false alarm phone call. So it's you and me. So we have about 6 minutes left in the show, and I wonder if maybe now's a good time to talk a little bit about dream poetry.
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like, do I have time to share? I have two that I could share, or just one. What do you think for time?
Oh, we have a good 5 or 6 minutes. Well, let's just do one and then see how it goes. How about that?
Cool. Then okay, cool. I could share. I have one poem that I wrote about, I think, a couple months ago, and I dreamt of an eagle, giving me its wings, and then I had to go pee, and so I woke up to go pee, and then I came up, and I just was in that state. I don't know if there's a name for it, where it was almost like I was still buzzing from the dream state in my waking life. They call it flow state, I guess. Athletes have this experience this when they're just really in the moment, or dancers. But I was doing that with dreaming. And I was awake, and so I just started writing this poem that was inspired by this dream that I had. Just writing it at like 2 a.m. in the morning, and it's called Spirit of the ABCs to Z. And I'll read it right here.
I'm sorry, can you say the name again? Spirit of the
ABCs to Z.
To Z.
Absolute awe of my aliveness again and again, blissfully being, caring and committed, dancing with divine destiny, enjoying the exciting energy everywhere, fearless in freedom, grateful for God's grace, having health, happiness, and hope ignited inside, joyful, jolly, juicy jewel, kind as the new pool is cool. Live, love, laughter, light. May mystery be met with mighty, merry, and mirth. Naked now, never-ending newness. Opening, open, opening, open. Passionately, purposely partying. Quality is queen. Remembering reality, really. Surrendering to serenity. Thriving throughout the todays and tomorrows. Unfolding, unfurling, unwinding. Vividly vivacious. Welcoming and wooing the worlds with my wild woo-woo ways. XO, XO, XO. Yes, you're yummy. Singing with Zeus.
Yummy. You're yummy. That's sweet. The way it all flows through the alphabet. So this structure, but no structure. So it does. That's the thing. You don't need to be like Dr. Zeus and have some kind of strict rhythm, rhyme scheme, but just the feelings that it evokes. That's what poetry's all about for me, is the feelings that they evoke. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So you say you started writing this at 2:00 in the morning. Do you have any suggestions of like how we can get into the zone and create the poetry?
Sure. I mean, how do I intentionally, this is a funny trick. I mean, I drink a ton of water at night, and so I wake up to go pee at least like 4 or 5 times a night. And so, part of being in this state is, if I'm lucky, if I have a lucid dream in the middle of the night, that feeling of elated kind of just flow state, I'll wake up with that. And so if you can wake up when you're in that state, it's just the gates are open to all creativity. And so I think some people think, when I'm sleeping, it's for pure rest. I think it's for rest. It can be for creativity. It can be for integration. There's all these different states we can be in. And so knowing one's also just their kind of like biorhythms at night, when they're in REM sleep, when they're in kind of phase 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, is really important. And so educating oneself on their phases and when their internal clock system is working, that helps for opening the portal to creativity.
I love that. Yeah, I've read some studies about creativity and dreaming, and certainly there's lots of stories of people who have created some amazing things based on their dreams, and some of it's art and poetry, and some of it is like the sewing machines or the benzene molecule and the periodic table. So it can apply on a creative front and also on a more scientific front. So Yame, how can our listeners get in touch with you in case they want to chat some more or join the Santa Cruz Dreamers meetup?
Yeah, if anyone is interested in connecting with me, I can give my email out here.
Sure.
My email is yummy, YUMMY 3042 @gmail.com. And I can add you to also our email list, which I send out once a month to update people on what we're doing.
Right. Well, thank you, Yame. This really has been a delight. I'm so glad that you came on here, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of the day and some wonderful lucid dreams tonight.
Thanks, Catherine. It was such a pleasure.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. So next week, we will be talking to David Lowe, who has a counseling practice in Philadelphia, where he specializes in mindful recovering and customized meditation, but most of all, dream work. We'll talk about why most people have such a lack of interest in their dreams and about how that interest is now being forced upon us by world events. So tune in live next Saturday at 10 a.m. or catch the podcast replay on all your fine purveyors of podcasts.
Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you.
I am Catherine Bell, and this has been the Dream Journal. Thanks for listening. You can find out more about my dream coaching practice at experientialdreamwork.com. I offer private sessions, dream groups, and online classes. If you have a dream you're curious about, you're welcome to contact me for a free introductory dream consultation. You can also reach me at catherine@ksquid.org. That's KATHERINE at ksqd.org. And let me know if you have any suggestions for the show. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or tell a friend about the show. And it really helps people find it. Our guest today was Mei Wolff-Smith. And I'd also like to thank my program assistant, Max Deaton, and our creative musician, Rick Kleffel, who created an original composition for our ambient music again today. And our thanks to our call-ins from Ellen and Jeff. Call-ins really do make the show exciting. And thank you so much to all the generous donors who support this station. We really rely on listener donations, and you can always make a donation at ksqd.org. A couple bucks here or there, maybe make a monthly contribution. Every little bit helps. We're all volunteers here bringing the best of Santa Cruz to you. That is all for the Dream Journal, so join us again next Saturday at 10 a.m. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, take a minute to look within. Do you remember a dream? Write it down and bring it to the next Dream Journal. I am Catherine Bell, and you are listening to KSQD Santa Cruz.